Good morning. I am so glad to be here with you today. It's fun seeing each other every summer, isn't it? And I am so thankful for the ongoing witness of this church in our community. I'm grateful to Pastor Tom for inviting me to be with you today and next week, and to each one of you who has transformed this place into a blessing simply by coming here as yourself. This morning and next Sunday, we're going to be in Genesis 32 and 33, looking at the brothers Jacob and Esau. I rarely get to preach 2 Sundays in the same place, so I am rejoicing at this opportunity to linger in a story together over time, to ask questions we may not have an answer to right away, to wonder with each other and apart and with each other again. So here we are today in Genesis 32, and our story starts with Jacob running. He's been running most of his life. He ran from Esau after he stole the birthright. Then he ran to Laban's house, and after deception upon deception to gain wives and livestock, he ran from Laban's house because he had burned every bridge. Jacob is a man in motion, not because he loves the road, but because the road has always felt safer than standing still. Standing still means being seen, being caught. Standing still means having to answer for what you have done. We can conjecture about how Jacob got this way. The text says that he was supposed to be born first, had it not been for Esau's ankle grabbing. His mother, Rebekah, if you'll recall, is actually the one who put him up to stealing the birthright. She braves the curse, but she willingly lets him take the risk. Was Jacob, like so many others, pushed into a life trajectory by adults who were supposed to protect him and guide him, but used and exploited him for their own gain? And now, after decades of running, Jacob is on the road home. That's probably not a road he thought he would travel again. He has wives and children and livestock and servants, albeit ill-gotten, but he's built something in his time away, and all of it, all that wealth, all that family, all that careful accumulation of life cannot outrun the thing that is waiting for him on the other side of the river. Because Esau is there. And Esau is coming with 400 men. Earlier in chapter 2, Jacob actually sends a bunch of gifts toward Esau in groups to let him know Jacob is coming, show penitence from the beginning, maybe test the waters. But you can tell Jacob is scared. And I need to let you know that I'm an only child who has always wanted a sibling. There's something about belonging when you have a sibling. Someone who understands everything about your early life, someone who can relate to you but is different from you, who challenges you in a wonderful but tormenting way. And those of you who have siblings may be laughing inside because obviously I'm describing something I learned from television that isn't based on reality. Apparently you are not guaranteed resolution at the end of each argument, and the stories of siblings who have your back no matter what are just that, stories. So I am learning. But Jacob and Esau, they've been fighting since before they were born. And then their mother played favorites, pitted them against each other. And now Jacob has run out of places to run. He's afraid, like someone who knows their past is closing the distance between them. Like someone who's realizing every shortcut, every cut corner, every person he used as a stepping stone didn't disappear just because he thought he moved on. The Jabbok is a boundary river running through what is now northern Jordan. It's one of the main eastern tributaries of the Jordan. And for Jacob, it's the edge of everything. On one side is Laban's territory, Remember, Laban is who he has defrauded and just escaped. That side has years of running, the person he has been. But on the other side is reckoning with his brother and the person he might yet become. So here he stands at a crossroads. To cross this river is to choose a direction. You don't cross a river like that and go back. The current doesn't run that way. So Jacob sends everyone ahead, his wives, his children, his servants, his flocks, everything he owns crosses to the other side before he does. He splits his livestock and servants into groups so that if one is attacked, the others might be spared. He holds his wife and children back and then sends them ahead before him, trying to play the odds to protect as much as he can of the life that he's built. Either way, he's still using people to protect his own odds. He stays there alone at the ford as the last of them disappear into darkness on the other side. So here Jacob is alone at the river, and it's a common thing to happen in a biblical story or a mythological story that the humans and the divine can meet at the river. It's a place where humans are at nature's mercy, where willpower can only go so far. And the text says that a man wrestled with him until daybreak. Whatever this being is, whether it's an enemy or an angel or God's self, Jacob knows that it's real. It grabs hold of him and it will not let go. And so he names the place Peniel, which means the face of God. And maybe for the first time in his life, he doesn't run. He stays. He wrestles back. Jessica Jacobs, the founder of Yetzirah, puts it so beautifully in her poem, God Wrestling. The river has tasted the salt of your skin, has lapped at your calves with its current. The river has swallowed the process of your steps. There is no record of your crossing. The river is between you and everything you call your life. So you step into a stranger's arm. Your shoulder fits theirs like a bone in its socket. Their jaw notches yours all around you as a profusion of oleanders beams back the moonlight, offering a carpet of fallen petals. In your arms, all the promises you have yet to keep. All you've ever done that shames you. But what is wrestling if not an embrace? It's too dark to see. You have the same face, and only like this, cheek to cheek, each looking over the other's shoulder, you can see the world whole. Close at first, as a slow dance. You spin and spin, your tracks a tight coin matched. You step out, making a spear tip of your bodies marched. You step further, levered like rafters, needing the other to stay aloft. Your tracks trace widening circles, ringing out through the fallen blossoms. There are rivers we cannot cross without being changed. There are moments when the old way of doing things, of being careful, of being safe, of staying quiet to manage the peace simply will not carry us to the other side. They wrestle through the night, and the verb that the Hebrew text uses here, abak, is a word that appears almost nowhere else in the Bible. It means to wrestle in the dust during a close fight. As if this struggle is so physical, so embodied, that it literally kicks up the earth around them. As if maybe they're not just wrestling each other, but wrestling with earth, with the river, with every physical and metaphorical thing. This is not a philosophical debate or a theological conversation. It is two bodies in the dark, in the mud, at the edge of a river, refusing to release each other. And at some point in the night, this divine opponent touches Jacob's hip socket and puts it out of joint. This is no minor wound. The hip is the largest joint in the body. Movement would have become agony. Jacob is now wrestling with a wound that would bring most of us to our knees or flat on our backs, and still the text says he does not let go. When the opponent says, "Let me go, for the day is breaking," Jacob answers, "I will not let you go until you bless me." That line is not just extraordinary, it's scandalous. Jacob is wounded and still demanding. He's limping and still reaching. He has been up all night. He is in pain. He is alone because he's done terrible things. And he is demanding a blessing from the very one who hurt him. Some of you might be in that wrestle right now, not as a metaphor, as your actual life this week, in this actual city. Some of you are wrestling with your own history, your own inheritance, the way you have benefited from systems that you didn't build, but you also didn't dismantle. And some of you are trying to figure out, what does it mean to have faith when predominantly white, wealthy, and straight institutions ask you to wait, to be patient, to trust the process, to give the committees time to work, to believe that change is coming and that it will come quickly enough to help you. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes by wrestling something from the inside, whether it's a church or a country or a family, pushing an institution you love toward the thing it says it already is, but you know it's never been. Watching the fallout, but not walking away. And yet, the word this text forces on us is that Jacob holds on. He doesn't walk away from the divine encounter because it costs him something. He doesn't disengage when the opponent laid hands on him. He holds on until the blessing comes. Jessica Jacobs' poem continues, "Names are required only when you're alone. This stranger doesn't give you a new name, just dippers up the true on you, tender in your chest. The day is breaking, the night's hold, the far bank is calling. On one side, you. On the other, your life. Join them." The Jacob who entered this fight and the Jacob who left with a limp and a blessing are not the same person. This name, Israel, this name that will be given to a people, to a nation, to a history, to a covenant stretching across thousands of years, that name begins here in the mud, at the river, in the dark, with a man who is wounded and refusing to let go. The name Israel means roughly one who strives with God, or in some translations, God struggles. And I think the ambiguity of the grammar here is theologically significant. Who is suffering? Is it Jacob? Is it God? Is God also at work in the darkness and the difficulty and the long night of human history, refusing to let us go? Perhaps it's both. Perhaps this name holds both possibilities open at once, that God is moving toward us just as we are trying to move toward God, and God chases after us when we try to run away, and we chase after God when God seems nowhere near. That this divine relationship between God and humanity has all hearts on the line, all wounds exposed, all vulnerabilities on the table, embraced in a struggle that cannot end until blessing. And notice what this new name is not. It is not Israel, the one who won. It is not Israel, the one who figured it out. It is not Israel, the one who arrived clean on the other side. It is not even Israel, the one who will always be right. This new name is someone who stays in a struggle, who showed up for the night and refused to leave before the morning, of someone who grabbed hold and refused to let it go until the blessing. Civil rights activist Ella Baker put it this way: "We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes." This blessing isn't a reward for winning. It's not a golden ticket to always win no matter what else you do. It's a mark of having showed up and stayed. Its countenance changed by the face of God, and this will be the river that our roads bring us to. Will we use our voices, our strength, our last drop of energy in the night when federal power is deployed against the bodies of the vulnerable? When our city tries to criminalize poverty? When our economy perpetuates the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer because that is exactly what it was designed to do? When technological advances disregard environmental destruction, and when so-called advocates for life legislate policies that bring harm and suffering and thinly veiled enslavement, and then they blame all of that on God. Will we wrestle the forces before us and refuse to let go until justice and mercy flow like water? The river is behind him, and Jacob is walking into the morning light. He is not healed. He is limping. The wound from the wrestle didn't disappear with the dawn. It's part of him now. It will always be part of him. His limp will be for him a liturgy. There's a difference between being healed and being changed. Being healed implies that the wound is gone, that what was broken is now as though it never had been broken. But being changed implies that the wound is part of who you are now. That it's been incorporated, that it's knowledge you carry in your body, a part of every interaction, every relationship, every new thing you will learn. The limp is what this congregation carries in every reparative conversation that was uncomfortable but necessary. In every Sunday when the preacher said something true from this pulpit and it stung, and people sat with the sting instead of leaving. That limp is in every policy position you took when neutrality would have been safer. Every relationship that became more honest and more difficult at the same time. Every morning you walked back in to the wrestle because the blessing you are reaching for is real. It's not cheap cliches. It's not self-righteous arrogance. It's not nationalism dressed up as piety. Jacob doesn't arrive on the other side of the river as the man he was. He arrives as the people they are becoming. And did you notice that pronoun shift from first person singular I to third person plural they? It's not a mistake. Been talking about the way things change. My family lives in a different state. If you don't know what to make of this, then we will not relate. If you don't know what to make of this, then we will not relate. Rivers and roads, rivers and roads, rivers till I reach you. Rivers and roads, rivers and roads, rivers till I reach you. Rivers and roads. Jacob has traveled both, and he has run out of roads. Roads he built on cunning and survival and the cost of every shortcut he took. And he has crossed rivers of reckoning, rivers that you cannot cross without sending everything you own ahead of you into the dark and standing alone on the bank with nothing left to protect you except your willingness to stay. Rivers and roads, rivers and roads, rivers till I reach you. We are still crossing. The river is still moving. The night may still be long. There are forces in this city and in this country that are making it very hard to cross, to redraw boundaries just to silence voices, to replace the long work of justice with the short comfort of lies of order. And the church must decide again and again whether we are going to be on the bank or in the water. Rivers and roads, rivers and roads, rivers till I reach you. We have been given a name for this. We have been given the name of a people who strive with God and do not let go. We have been given the name of a people who strive with God and do not let go, a people who take the wound and keep reaching. A people who look at the sun rising over a river they have just crossed and say, I have seen the face of God, and I am still here. Somewhere across the river, the sun is already rising.